All right, so what I'm going to do in this video is we are going to use text wrapping so we can put shapes in here with pull quotes, or maybe we put some images throughout our text and we have the text wrapping around it. So the first one I'm going to do is adding in a little square within this whole paragraph and maybe putting some kind of pull quote in there. So I'm going to do the rectangle tool. I'm going to draw a little shape. And right now what's happening is it's just a black outline, but I don't want that. I want to actually have a whole background color. So let's find the blue. I'll do this one. So now we have this, but we need the text to wrap around it. So we want to select on this square and we want to go to Window. We want to go to Text Wrap and we want to select this. So wrap around bounding box. And what you'll notice is it does, but it's right up on the edges of the box and we don't really want that. So over here, these options, you can add in some space manually. So now we have this little box. I'm going to move it around within here and we can put some kind of text in here with a pull quote. So I'm going to get the type tool. I'm going to type it out down here actually. So here is an awesome quote. And I might want to do a different text style. So maybe not the same font that I was using earlier. We'll do this one. And maybe we center it, make it a little bit bigger. And then once I get it inside this, I might change the font color. So let's put it in here. And then we notice it immediately disappears. We don't want that. So what we want to do is we want to make sure this text is selected and we want to do text frame options and we want to do ignore text wrap. So now it is on top. This is really hard to see, so let's change this to white. And then I might need to kind of space these out a little bit. So now I have a quote in here. And then let's change the preview of this. So looks pretty good, right? I'm going to go back to the normal screen mode. Let's get rid of that for a second. So this is one thing you can do is put some kind of shape in here. It could be a circle as well. So you could do a circle, polygon. And then down here, maybe what I want to do is I want all this text to be in columns. So what I'm going to do is select the whole text. And then we can see over here our columns. Right now we just have one. Maybe I want 3. So I'll do 3 columns. And in here, maybe I want an image to text wrap around here, one down here, one up here. We can kind of play with it. So I'll drag this out a little bit. And we want to use the rectangle frame tool because remember we're dealing with images. So maybe right here, I want an image in there. So I'm going to do place. Let's use this one. So I'm definitely going to need to adjust the fitting of this. Fit content proportionally. Let's do fill frame proportionally. So looks cool. Remember you can double click this. So now notice that the outline is kind of like orangish brown. What's happening is we've actually selected the image and not the frame of it. And I can just kind of click up with my keyboard to kind of move this around. So now it's more what I want to show, but we still want this to wrap around the text. So we need to go to text wrap and then select this right here. And then we can do the same thing where we add some spacing around it. So that looks good. Let's kind of make this a little bit smaller. So looks good. Let's add another one maybe down here at the bottom. And we're going to do place. And do this one. We want to change the fitting on it. So we still need to wrap this. So select that. And then let's put one more up here at the top. And we're going to do file, place, and I'm just going to reuse one of these images. So I'll do this one. And we want to fit this and wrap it. So on this one, let's add a little bit more space above. So there we go. Looks good. Right now, let's drag it out and see how it looks if it comes down here. So it looks pretty good. So this is another thing you can do. We can do the shape with a pull quote or even something else in there. We can also do images that are kind of wrapped throughout this text. But let's say that we want to put some kind of caption over these images. So we'll do it on this one first. What we could do is we could just select some type. We'll do some place filler text. Don't want that much though. So this would be a good, that's kind of long. This would be a good length for the caption. So maybe we make it a little bit smaller, so 11. And then we want to highlight this. Let's pick a font. And what I actually could do, I'm going to undo this. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to do paragraph styles and do main body copy. You can also, remember, you can set one for captions, but I'm not going to do that just for the sake of time. So right now it's aligned to the baseline grid. So if we zoom in, you'll be able to see that. So aligned, all of this is aligned, it's looking great. All of this is aligned, so don't forget the baseline grid stuff. So we're going to put this over this image, and notice how it doesn't want to fit in there. So we want to do the same thing like what we did up there with the pull quote. We want to highlight this text and do text frame options, and we want to do ignore text wrap. So now it's going to go on top. Let's change this to white, and let's make this a little bit smaller. So something else I might want to do is make this text a little bit smaller. And then scoot it kind of right here. So that's one option you could do. You could also do a color behind this, so we can do black maybe. It's kind of up to you. Something else we could do is, instead of doing that where we add in a color here, we could, let's see, we could come over here, grab the rectangle tool. Let's pick a color. This is probably going to look terrible, but let's do not red. We'll do a blue again. So we'll do like this blue. That just automatically put it on here. So I'm going to draw this to the edges of the image. Don't want that outline. And then what I'm going to do is arrange, send backward, not to back because it's going to go behind the entire image. So just send backward. And then let's look at this in the preview mode. So it looks okay. I might drag this down a little bit. So we can also do that as well, but you can also change the colors. You could also do this as a gradient. You can kind of get creative with it. So this is the text wrapping section. I'm sure you could figure out other cool things to do with the text wrapping, but these are just two of the main things you might want to do is put in a shape or put in images.